for the most part, like everything I am doing is what I want, but I'm not really doing it with the full fervor that I want to. It's like I'm scared to commit to how I really want to live my life because it's so different to what's normal that I'm not fully sending it. And because I'm not fully sending it, it's not working out the way I want it to. Or it feels like I'm not giving it the true fuel that it needs to actually take off to the stars, which I know it could. I'm half-assing it, essentially, because a part of me is still afraid that I am delusional. You know, we're all delusional in our own ways. But you have to really believe the truth of what you are, even if it feels like it's a delusion to other people. I've been getting a lot better at feeling my feelings, like so much better. And I've been able to connect to my emotions so much better. My intuition as well. Like really getting a clear indication of what is true and what is not true. Like delusion in terms of what is self-delusion. It's not like a delusion from an external perspective, but whether or not you're deluding yourself. That's the real delusion we need to be aware of, I feel like. Even if your lifestyle feels insane to other people and they will call you deluded, but it feels true to you, then you are not deluded, in my definition. But you have to be very sure that you're honest with yourself. Any degree of self-deception will fuck you up. But I do feel like if I'm truly completely in my feelings, I would kill somebody. Like, I feel like there's so much rage inside of me that hasn't been expressed, that if I were to fully realize my entirety, my full potential, I feel like I need to just go somewhere in the mountains by myself and just like power up like a Super Saiyan and like let out all the rage that I haven't been able to let out. I feel like that's one big emotion that I feel like I've been suppressing. It's Mars. It's like to assert yourself. To assert like to be strong, to be in your power, to be in your ground, to assert your boundaries. Because like for so long I feel like I have not been allowed to be powerful. Like anytime I assert myself and it triggers other people, a part of me is like, oh, it's not okay to be strong. It's not okay for me to actually own who I am. I have to keep cutting myself down and fawning and people pleasing, and that's the only way you'll get love and fit in and be accepted and survive. And that's still a big narrative that I feel circulates in my mind. And I feel like in order to get over it, I just have to get really angry all the time. Like I have to somehow channel my anger out. Like I need to find a way. I'm too people pleasing still. I can feel it. And I feel like the New Zealand social construct is a very much a people pleasing construct. Like you have to almost self-deprecate and people please and not try to stand out and not be too powerful and be overly humble just to fit in. And I very much enjoy fitting in and harmonizing with others. Like, I don't necessarily want to make people uncomfortable. I don't. Like, I really don't. And that's why I think a lot of times I sacrifice my own sense of integrity to make others comfortable, because when others are comfortable, I also feel comfortable. But like at a certain point, you're betraying yourself. That doesn't feel right either. And it's like to prioritize my integrity over fitting in. But I feel like that goes against my nature. And it's really hard to do that, I find. Like, I prefer to just be surrounded by powerful, strong people. That it's like, if I were to harmonize with them, it would naturally just put me in a strong state. Rather than constantly fighting my natural inclination to harmonize with others, just so I can preserve any semblance of sovereignty. That's what it feels like a lot of times for me. But I do feel like if I'm able to master my emotions and find a way to channel my anger out healthily, I don't know how yet, because it feels like if I let any out, it just comes out in this like gigantic torrent. Like there's no way to like let it out in a smooth, controlled manner, I feel like, at the moment. Or it's very hard to. But if I'm able to be in touch with my rage and my anger, my power essentially, my ego actually, it's like a healthy aspect of my ego that I've suppressed for too long. If I'm able to be in touch with that without letting it consume me either, I feel like I would become the ultimate being. It's almost like in a lot of stories how the protagonist has a demon inside of him and he must conquer that demon. You know, initially he rejects the demon because it's too destructive, but eventually he needs the demon's power. But if he uses the demon's power, it could become extremely violent and, let's just say, murderous. So it's like not neglecting it, but not letting it consume you. It's to master the monster inside of you. You know, like Naruto or Asta. Or Ichigo, actually, because he also has a demon inside of him, doesn't he? He has a hollow. But it just feels like my demon is so big that I have no idea how to even begin to contain it without just like exploding it and fucking like raging in everyone's face. It's like I'm either gonna people please or I'm gonna just be an ogre. Like finding that like healthy in-between point, I find is hard for me. Like either suppress my emotions too much or I let it out too much. It's like it's either 0 or 100. But I do feel like if I'm able to master this, it would be everything. I would conquer the world. Well, once you conquer yourself, really, you conquer everything. And this is the final step.